Hey dude, hey bro, wait. Hey you, hey dude, hey bruh. I'm gonna tell you a story of how everyone says I'm a super nerd because of things. Check out my mixtape it's on Spotify. That's not a joke even. Link in the description. I need to cut the tag off of this. Call me the Hulk, cause I just ripped the tag off of a shirt. I didn't even need to cut it. I'm just like, that's really easy actually. So, heck yeah, I'm Hulk. Shush. That was a dumb joke. Anyway, cat, there are people out there who are like, Adam, you're such a nerd. You want to know why you're a nerd? Because you're starting to play Dungeons and Dragons now. I bought the Dungeons and Dragons starter set. I'm really happy about this, actually. Let's read it. Okay, so first off, you know it's just a hoot of a game when the rulebook has chapters. There are 4 chapters, and there's an appendix. Oh boy. There's a table of contents on the front and everything. And look at this. Okay. This is what the entire rulebook looks like. And it's just all words, dog. So many words. And how many pages of this are there, you might ask? 31. 31 page, anyway. So, story time. Listen. Grab your good old cup of tea, grab your tea, because we're gonna spill it, dog. Because, listen here. Story time. I met someone for a good old-fashioned dinner, right? And this happened to be on Valentine's Day, but it was a bro of mine, okay? It was a bro. It was very platonic. We literally talked about Jesus for an hour. I got a smoothie. It was like a green something smoothie from Panera. We here in St. Louis call it St. Louis Bread Co. because we like to think we're special, but we're not. And I was walking out of there, and in the little strip that it was in, there's a new store, right? And I was like, who? What's this? It was called Fantasy Shop, which sounds pretty inappropriate, but I was just talking about Jesus, and I'm naive, so. And no, there were not inappropriate things in there like cucumbers or eggplants, but there were more appropriate things, and they're like comic books. I did my peruse-a-doodling of the landscape. I'm like, do I see a koala? No, we're indoors. Do I see an alligator? No, because I'm not Steve Irwin, who is an angel, and you can shut your mouth, PETA. But you know what I did see? The Dungeons and Dragons starter set, as well as many other Dungeons and Dragons things, but I haven't played it before. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get some friends, we're gonna play Dungeons and Dragons. I impulse bought that. The Dungeons and the D&D is the cool kids call it D&D. Not that I would know. So on the drive home, I called my mama, cause I'm a mama's boy. Like any good Christian homeschooled boy, I love my mama. But I called her up and I was like, hey mom, so I may have made an impulse purchase. Oh boy, what did you buy, honey? Well, I bought the Dungeons and Dragons starter set. Oh boy, you're such a nerd! Okay, thank you, mama. And then you know what? I called up a friend of mine. I called up my friend Billy Bob Joe, who's not fictional at all. And I was like, hey, Billy Bob Joe, you know what I just got? What'd you get, you dweeb? Okay, good start. Never mind. But everyone's like, Adam, you're a nerd. And I say, Dungeons and Dragons is wrongly labeled one of the nerdiest games out there, right? Because everyone says, oh, people who play Dungeons and Dragons have no social life. They're just in their basement for hours on end playing this, and they don't know how to communicate with people. But that's where you're wrong, bucko. You see, Helen, people who play Dungeons and Dragons actually often have good social lives, because you need at least 3 friends to play it. So that's why I haven't played it yet. And in playing Dungeons and Dragons, you learn communication skills with the other either fictional characters or members of your party, and you learn problem solving. That's another thing. But people are like, Adam, you're a dweeb, I'm gonna kidnap you. To which I say, first off, yeah, I'm a dweeb, I know. Second off, what's that have to do with Dungeons and Dragons though? And third off, that's real creepy, don't kidnap me, I'm gonna kidnap myself now. I'm just gonna... It was made out of plastic, but not like the plastic you can't breathe through. I'm gonna just shut up now. Imagine, if you will, you're crawling through some like dark, spooky tunnel, right? It's real moist and damp, and there's moss everywhere, and it smells like moss, and it smells just like old air, right? You're crawling through, but you know there's treasure at the end. It's like, it's getting smaller too, you're like crawling, and you're crunched up and everything, and then suddenly it opens up into a giant room, and so you stand up, but there's an ogre, and his name is Fiona, but it's a dude. It's Fiona, actually. So you unsheath your sword, and you're like, good sir, you are not a good sir. I shall slay you. And it's like, that's pretty aggressive, dog. I think I deserve to not be slain. And you're like, tough cookies. And so, you give him some cookies, but they're old cookies, and he tries them just out of goodwill. But since they're old cookies, he can't. It just makes his mouth real dry, and he eats them, and then he gets he's dehydrated to death, and then you have that on your conscience for a long while. It's on your conscience. But then you pick up the cookies and you take a bite, and they're not really that old and dry, and so you eat them and swallow them and you're fine. And because they turns out they had a lot of preservatives in them, so they weren't really that dry. It was not the dehydration that killed him, it was the cancer that he probably got from the preservatives. So I'm gonna edit this out probably. But the moral of the story is D&D is not for losers, it's for winners. Because you play this game, you get happiness peppers. You give competitive schmecks and time schmecks. You get smiley happy peppers. Look at this smile. You can't get those peppers from anywhere else. Like, some people are like, oh, you can get smiley peppers like that from the Bible. But Books are, that's the real sign of nerdism, reading. Then again, I had to read all this to be able to play the game. So if anyone wants to play D&D with me, which stands for Donuts and Duncan, then comment down below. Because I would love to play some D&D, which stands for diddly-doo. Because it's a fun game. D&D is an epic game. D&D actually stands for subscribe to PewDiePie. It's an epic game because D&D, which stands for days and decades, it's a cool game. I don't remember how that sentence started, so I don't know how to end it. Have I mentioned there's new merch yet? Link in the description. Straight out of Schmecks, because Schmeck peppers. I don't need to rehash that. Hey, Tango the Tangy Mangy, what do you say about this?
He's forcing you to say subscribe to PewDiePie.
Listen here, you little heifer, you're gonna subscribe to PewDiePie, or I'm gonna, be a not happy YouTuber. So, Jesus loves you, don't do drugs, and don't die! Gosh. You little heifer.